You already told me that, Anthony.
Old woman.
Bumbleclot. Nah, me tired. Me don't want to walk with it there. Bumbleclot.
What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl, EJ, and welcome back to the recap, y'all. Now, look, as fate would have it, looks like we got a little bit of a surprise. Looks like episode 10 popped up on the BET Plus app, and you already know this episode starts right where the last one left off, and that is with Desiree ready to go and storm the camp, y'all. She found out that a senator's son, who happens to be Aaron, is up on the camp, and now she wants to go out there. Now, so happens Mac and Sheriff Conley pop up, and they're like, no, you already know what's going to happen. And Desiree is starting to see a little something when Mac seems to be taking up for Sheriff Conley. And so now her antennas are on 1,000 and she doesn't believe either of these two. She sends somebody to go with Mac as she pretends like she's not going to go and like she's listening to them. But she's like, look, somebody needs to follow him and trail him. And then her and Kyle are going to take themselves up to the Rakadushi camp. Now, I don't know if this is a good idea because we all know that the highest is going to be ready for war if they come in there this way. This isn't a smart move. Typically, Desiree has been pretty smart in my opinion, but I think this is a horrible move on her part, but we shall see. Now, meanwhile, back at the camp, Elder Mother Marva is going to be talking to the highest and she's going to let him know that Lacey is ready for the ritual. He's going to tell her that the plans have changed and instead of letting the enlightened men sleep with her, they're going to let the unenlightened men sleep with her because a person like her can't have the highest child after all. So there's that. So anyway, we're going to see that Ruth is going to tell Lewis that she won't tell on him and that she will talk to him later. Now, she also pulled a little move with Bridget and had Bridget come over there and stand with her, y'all. Ruth just be doing a lot. So anyway, y'all, Joan is going to want to know what's going on with them because she's going to notice the conversation, the dialogue, and Ruth is going to kind of give her like a half truth. I really want Ruth to be on the up and up with Joan and River. I feel like these three need to 100% trust each other, but we all know that they don't. And it feels like Ruth is about to pull another move of her own. So anyway, y'all, we're going to see that Joan is going to end up telling her what Elder Mother Marva said and that she really has no clue where the kids are. Only person that knows is the highest. And Ruth says that she's going to find out, that she'll figure out for a way for him to tell her. Now, meanwhile, Elder Mother Marva and Daikon are going to meet up and Elder Mother has a new word of the day, y'all. It's called bumbleclot because she called Daikon this so many times during this episode. It was so funny. Now, she is going to end up taking Zane to help her fix the highest food. And the highest is going to also want Daikon to take Aaron out of the freezer as well. Now, the highest is going to end up going to see Malcolm and he wants to know how his trip was. He wants to know, what's going on, and Malcolm is so high that he didn't even realize where he was at. And then when he finally realized that he was still at the camp, I know in his mind, he was like, damn, I'm still here. Now, the highest does go on to tell Malcolm, like, look, I am a god. I'm going to become like that to you as well because I have the ability to make you happy. I have the ability to make you sad. I mean, it's crazy. The highest truly is on one, y'all. Now, we are going to see that Daikon is going to get Aaron out of the cooler and he's going to basically lock him up in a trailer. Now, of course, Aaron does try to get him to let him go. He says that he's learned his lesson. And what is it with everybody in their names today? The highest stressed to Malcolm to call him the highest. And then Daikon does the same thing with Aaron as well. Like, yes, Daikon. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, everybody in their power trips. So anyway, y'all, hopefully Aaron is ready to behave at some point. Maybe he'll learn to start playing the game so that he can get himself out of the situation. Now, Ruth is going to get Bridget to tell her how she meets with Lewis. And Bridget, kind of gets a little J. She's like, I see how he looks at you. And Ruth is just like, look, this is not the time to be jealous. So she gets the information that she needs so that she can try to make a meetup with Lewis. Now, Elder Mother Marva is going to tell Zane how to fix the food. She's also going to talk about Lacey, and she ends up spilling it that Lacey is alive. And then she goes in on her vengeance mode, and Zane plays along with it. And basically, Elder Mother Marva tells Zane that she's going to help her with the ritual tonight. So, it is what it is. Now, meanwhile, George and Lewis are going to be having a conversation, and Lewis is going to have to tell George that he he got caught by Ruth and that he had to give her a little something and he had to tell her something. Now, George is like, look, he doesn't trust her. He believes that Ruth is down with the Raku, but Lewis is like, nah, she's a street chick and she doesn't believe any of this. Now, while they're having their conversation, Ruth is going to walk up and she's going to pass Lewis some tea. And she makes it very clear that this tea is for Lewis. Now, of course, George is still not feeling this. And when Ruth walks off, he's like, dang, you act like you hot for her. And he's like, well, you know. It was just such a funny, interesting move. But anyway, Manny's going to pop up, y'all, and Manny's going to want back in. He's going to let them know that indeed the Enlightenment is a little something strange, you know, and they already knew this. And so George doesn't want to let him back in. He doesn't trust him. He doesn't believe him. But Lewis is still like, hey, like he feels like they can still trust him. Now, George is going to walk away, of course, and then Lewis is going to finally see the note. And then, of course, he's going to leave. And then River is going to pop up and he's going to be antagonizing Manny a little bit. And we still see that Manny is still wanting to figure out what happened to him. And he says that he's going to find out. He's going to get her to tell him. River warns him to let it go. Otherwise, the Raku might have to come after him again. So we shall see how this works out. Now, meanwhile, Elder Mother Marva is going to make the announcement in the pavilion that all the men with blue cards need to meet her in the classroom. And this is going to have everybody wondering what the heck is going on. Daikon is going to try to figure it out, as well as Ruth and Joan and everyone. However, Zane will pop up and tell Joan and Ruth what is going on and what is supposed to happen to Lacey. She also lets them know that she is going to be there as well. Ruth tells her, like, you have to get her to hold out. You have to get her to be able to be strong and hold up. Now, even that is a hard task to ask of someone, it is what is needed, because if Lacey has a breaking point and she tells all, then it is what it is. Their plan is over with, which is a good thing that she doesn't know the entire plan. But her knowing key players of the plan is not a good thing, because last time Lacey was willing to tell, and although your girl is a G, when she is pushed in a corner, when she is backed in a corner, if she feels like she's going to be betrayed, or if she feels like she can use a bargaining chip, she will go ahead and tell it. So hopefully she won't do this to her girl Zane, though, because Zane has been 100% down for her. Now, we all know that she don't like Joan or Ruth, so I mean, that could go either way. Now, Elder Mother is going to try to take the food to the trailer for the highest, but she's going to get stopped by Daikon, of course, and he tells her that she is not to be able to go into the trailer and tells the soldier not to let her in because the highest is not there and he's busy. Now, of course, this is going to lead to a lot of dialogue between them again, as usual. River's going to pop up. He tries to help out, but of course, Daikon is like, nope, let it go. So meanwhile, y'all, we're going to see that Andrew is going to get caught by the agent. He's going to see them over there. He's going to walk over there. They are going to basically subdue him. Now, he does try to get away from them. He tries to maneuver all his moves, but he wasn't able to overpower them. And it just feels like the FBI is messing up left and right in this particular episode. Taking Andrew is not a good look. I mean, at the end of the day, I know they feel like he has, you know, drunk the Kool-Aid and that he is no longer with them, but they need to let him get back to that compound. The highest is not playing when he says what he will do. And we all know that the kids are going to be coming back to the compound. We learned that later on in the episode. So I just feel like this is a horrible move on their part. So anyway, y'all, we're going to see that Ruth and Lewis are going to meet up and they're going to agree upon a certain number. She's going to say she'll take $50,000, but she wants help getting her daughter out in exchange. She also lets them know how stupid their plan is after he spills the entire plan, which, to be fair, was just a basic plan. I mean, they're basically going to pull some guns on some people and they were going to take the highest captive, but it was just going to be him and George. This was not going to work. And so they come up with a different plan, kind of similar, but with more people. And it also involves them pulling a gun on her and taking her captive so that she has time to go and get her daughter. Now, I feel like this is just a ploy. Like, this plan is not something that she's going to go through with, because we all know that there's like over $2 million there right now. So why would she settle for $50,000 when she could get more than that? So now Ruth makes it very clear that she's not going anywhere without her daughter and that they won't go through with the plan until the kids are back. This is when Lewis lets her know that the kids will be back tonight. So not only are the FBI going to be coming up there, but the kids are also on their way back. So this is not going to be good. I do not agree with the FBI going up in here like this, knowing that Tyrone Luckett is definitely off of his rockers and they don't know his state of mind. Now, even though Mac and Sheriff Conley may be down with the Raku, one thing about it is that they are absolutely correct. He is crazy and he will use everything at his disposal, and they are putting those kids in danger by moving along with this plan. But, you know, hopefully they will just come in peace and just come to talk, and hopefully a war won't start. But as I talk about a war, we're going to get to the last part of this episode, which is where we see that the FBI is going to be approaching and that one of the guards is going to see them. He's going to call it in. Daikon is going to go and get the highest. Now, the highest is actually torturing Malcolm even more. And while he's in there torturing Malcolm, he wants Malcolm to give him more information. Malcolm doesn't really have a whole lot of information, but we do find out that the reason why they even got on the FBI's radar is because the parents said that some of their teenagers had come to the camp. He wanted to know specifically who it was, but Malcolm didn't have that information, but told him that he could get it for him if he gets him a computer. Now, I don't know if the highest is going to actually give Malcolm a computer, but he says, like, if he tries anything, if he gets him a computer, you know, we basically all know what's going to happen. So maybe Malcolm won't try anything, but who knows? But most importantly, while he's in there and Daikon says, hey, I need to talk to you out here, he tells him that the FBI has pulled up with 4 cars and they're on their way. And he asks him what he wants to do. And Highest kind of looks at him like, you don't already know. And he says, we will go to war. So that's where that episode ends, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought about episode 10, this bonus surprise episode that we got. Not sure why it's on the BET Plus app right now, guys. I'm pretty sure this was next week's episode, but nevertheless, this was a welcoming surprise and I really enjoyed this episode. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Do not forget to join us live on Wednesday where we are going to talk about this week's episode. We might also talk about episode 10 as well. You never know. Meanwhile, guys, if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to your girl channel if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications so that you do not miss out on any of my future Ruthless talks. Until next time, guys, peace.